Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching My Adventures with Superman episode 4. Now, apparently I got things wrong, especially since Lois Lane didn't find out that Clark Kent is Superman at the end of the last episode, but she still thinks of him as a liar. Though Perry White does finally give her, Jimmy Olsen, and Clark Kent an actual job, befitting a real employee and reporter of the Daily Planet. They have to attend a glitzy gala in order to interview Metropolis's most eligible bachelor, Dr. Ivo. Though naturally, Lois Lane wants to actually focus on the crime wave as opposed to just interview a stuck-up billionaire. Now, we can understand that, especially since, as it's revealed later on in the episode, Lois's father might be a little disappointed in her for spending over a year at the Daily Planet and her still being an intern. Yeah, if you're an intern for that long, I can understand why she would have a soft spot regarding her employment and would naturally feel a bit insecure about it. I love this aspect of Lois's character. I like the fact that she has insecurities that Clark gets to help her out with on an emotional level, as well as with him just fighting bad guys like normal. Speaking of the bad guys, Dr. Ivo is a character I've never really heard of in the comics, though I heard he's another tech genius supervillain like a lot of other ones. He has the parasite armor in this episode, which basically gives him strength, speed and durability that's equal to Superman's, plus he can absorb kinetic energy and shoot it right back at an opponent. So yeah, it's a fitting adversary for Superman in this episode, though he has an external power source, which can of course be cut off. It's a good way to give him a good amount of strength while giving him an identifiable weakness to keep Lois and Jimmy still relevant here. That's another thing I really do like about the series. When it comes to most of the villains of the show, at least the one-off villains, Lois and Jimmy aren't just sitting around waiting to be rescued. They are actually helping out in the way they can, by either behind the scenes or by helping out in other areas of the fight to try and help Superman defeat the villains. Of course, they can't fight the villains physically, but they do whatever they can to help either Superman defeat the villain or to at least help the civilians that are around that could be harmed. It's a good way to keep them relevant without having them to just be hostages. They're not, thankfully, they're not hostages. Thankfully, they can actually do things on their own. Plus, at the end of the episode, Lois does finally figure out that Clark Kent is Superman. She just needed to get all the evidence on a board, and she had to think things over. Again, I do think her finding out Clark's true identity early on is actually a good idea. And now we know for a fact that she knows it, so she can ask Clark a lot of hard questions later on, especially considering that she is mad at Superman for always going away when she's trying to interview him. So she can naturally understand Krypton at the same time that we, the audience, learn about it. And I think adding that to this instance would make the bond between her and Superman stronger. Considering that the show focuses on their relationship about as much as the actual story at hand, I'm interested in seeing how this complicates matters with Superman and Lois Lane, along with us just having a spectacle of a battle throughout. So let's see what happens next week. See you next time.